Hello and welcome. It is 9:30. It is the 9th day of July 2021. I am your grumpy guide to all things gaming, the OGGM, with all the tabletop role-playing game news, weather, and sports. And we have another small little bit of the ongoing story with the free five adventures that Wizards of the Coast is putting up for the upcoming Magic the Gathering D&D thingy, Adventures in the Forgotten Realms. Part 2 went up today. It is called The Hidden Page. It continues the adventures of the plane-traveling wizard Sylvain and the consequences of her actions in her past and how it affected the Sword Coast and stuff like that. This is a adventure for 4 to 6 characters of 8th level. I think looks like it's about 15 pages. The first one, of course, was called Scarlet Flames and featured some red wizards, my favorite bad guys from the Forgotten Realms. And this one apparently features people who the plane traveling wizard affected in her past and who are now currently active in the world of D&D Forgotten Realms and are trying to explore the history and the things that Sylvain did in her traveling and trying to get some of the stuff that she may have left behind, and they don't care who they hurt along the way. It is up to your player characters to foil the machinations and evil plans of these individuals and further explore the mystery of plane hopping in Dungeons and Dragons and planeswalking. And yeah, this has got to be leading to some type of Planescape thing, right? Right? It is like the number one most requested setting from what I can gather. They've been hinting at it for a while now. I mean, they hinted at it in the Avernus thing. That was all about going to another plane. Ravenloft is technically about going to another plane, dimension, whatever you would call these things. We know that Elminster has a long history of plane hopping, as does Mordenkainen, even though he's from a different world. We know that Forgotten Realms itself has a history of plane hopping. If you're not familiar with Forgotten Realm lore, the god Tyr in the Forgotten Realms is the Norse god Tyr from Norse mythology, from Earth, and somehow some aspect of that god got gobbled up and taken over to the Forgotten Realms. Mulhorand, which is an entire country in the Forgotten Realms, which is basically Egypt, was pretty much Stargate, a group of Egyptians from Earth who somehow got sucked up and ended up in the Forgotten Realms and recreated the world that they knew, which was ancient Egypt at the time, which is why Mulhorand is so much like ancient Egypt. So there's a long history of the realms itself gobbling up cultures from other universes and making it part of the Forgotten Realms. And there's a long history of major NPCs in the Forgotten Realms plane hopping. Elminster has been plane hopping since day one. And now it seems like they're finally following through with this long-standing, plot thread, which is kind of interesting. I mean, occasionally it's nice to not be angry at Wizards of the Coast and see that they're actually doing some creative storytelling for once. And say what you will, this is an interesting story, how they're telling the story of this individual's past through the eyes of the present as they slowly baby step us towards planescaping. Sure, it's an advertising shill for the upcoming Magic the Gathering set, which I think is out today. But it's doing it in a creative way. This, take away all the other ugly things that we've been angry about Wizards of the Coast. This is the stuff that I like when they actually do something good. Tell a really good, long-term story slowly that has some overall effect on the world of the Forgotten Realms and D&D without any other of that political nonsense that Tasha and Ravenloft has. This is the stuff that I liked at the very beginning of 5th edition, how they slowly told the stories and slowly released things and slowly introduced us to the world of 5th edition before things got crazy. And at least it looks like some aspect of the storytelling engine that is Wizards of the Coast Hasbro wants to get back to that, wants to get away from the past year of just, whatever. A topic I've covered hundreds of thousands of times and don't want a topic anymore. But let's face it, a lot of us are angry at Wizards of the Coast of some of the choices they've made. But this just looks like classic D&D storytelling. Very interesting way of telling a story of here's somebody who did something in the past that affected the world. Now here's people in the present who are reacting to what this individual did to the past, for better or for worse. Plus it includes the Red Wizards of Thay, who are, like I've said, my favorite bad guys from Forgotten Realms. So I, for one, am very interested to see where this story is going, how this story is going to lead us up to inevitably Planescape. And that's the phone, so I've got to go. Talk to you later.